In this presentation, I will be talking about my experience and giving an overall of the year. In our second year of live performance workshop, we got to cover another 4 genres. The genres we covered were Latin, jazz, country, and world pop fusion. Our task each week was to go through the list that our lecturer Neil provided us and learn a song individually and then come together and perform it. Once we had gone through all the songs, we then got to choose 3 songs each to be assessed on and give a performance of them. Overall, I really enjoyed all the songs we covered this year and didn't really have many issues with them. The first genre we covered was Latin, which I was quite worried about because I haven't sung that much in a different language before. Out of the Latin songs, my 2 favourites were Aqua de Bebé by Astrid Gilberto and Antonio Carlos Jobim, and Spain, which we covered the Algero version. I was surprised with myself how much I enjoyed Aqua de Bebé, as the song is all in Portuguese. I found that writing out the lyrics as they sounded helped me a lot for this song. Spain was a nice challenge, as I hadn't ever heard of this song before, and soon became one of my favourites to perform out of the year. The structure seemed to be the thing that everyone was messing up, so I made sure that I listened to the song thoroughly and wrote myself out a cheat sheet, so I could take it upon myself to lead the band when they got lost. The other 2 songs we covered were Government Panema by Frank Sinatra and Brazilian Love Affair by George Duke. However, I was unable to attend the George Duke session. The next genre we moved on to was jazz. Jazz was probably my least favourite out of the 4 genres we covered over the year, and the one I didn't really look forward to, as I have never been a big fan of listening to jazz and singing jazz. The 4 songs we performed were Peel Me a Grape by Diana Krall, Birdland by Weather Report, My Favourite Things by Algero, and Sunny by Ella Fitzgerald. Peel Me a Grape became one of my favourites. This, again, was a song that I have never listened to before. My Favourite Things by Algero was the one I struggled with the most, as I have become so used to the original it was hard to get the timings and phrasings right. The third genre we covered was country. This was the genre I was most looking forward to, as I'm a big country fan and love singing this style of music. Our first song was Jolene by Dolly Parton, which is already one of my favourites anyway and was enjoyable to play with the rest of my classmates. We then went on to perform Wichita Lineman by Glen Campbell, Man of Constant Sorrow by Union Station, and Eastbound and Down by Jerry Reed. Eastbound and Down was the one I was worried about the most out of the 4 songs we had picked, but became one of my favourites to perform. It was high energy and upbeat compared to the others, which were quite mellow. The last genre we looked at was world pop fusion, which is what I was most familiar with, as I knew most of the songs. The first song we did was Chameleon by Herbie Hancock, which didn't have any vocals in it. Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder was the next one we performed, and the one I knew the most, as I have performed that many times in previous gigs and college. Thriller by Michael Jackson was my favourite to perform out of the whole year, as I am a big fan of Michael Jackson's music. The last song of the year we covered was Never Too Much by Luther Vandross, which I was unable to attend. For our assessment, we were given the task to choose 3 songs each to be assessed on. Some of us would obviously have to perform more, as we didn't balance as a class. The 3 songs I chose to be assessed on were Peel Me a Grape by Diana Krall, Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder, and Thriller by Michael Jackson. I chose these because they were all so different to each other, and that would be a good thing because it meant that I could show that I knew how to sing a variety of genres. I chose Peel Me a Grape because it's not what I usually sing and wanted to try something different. Sir Duke was one that I was most confident on as I had performed it loads of times before and knew the structure inside out. Thriller became my most challenging one, which is what I wanted so I could have something to work on. Once I had chosen the songs I wanted to be assessed on, it was then just a case of preparing for it. We all had a weekend to prepare for our practice on Monday, which was the day of the assessment. I utilised my time preparing by simply going over the songs again and again. I made sure that I knew each of the structures inside out, and any bits I was struggling with, I made sure I went over them again and again and again until I felt confident. On the day of the assessment, we had a 4-hour practice where we all went through the list of songs that we were going to be performing for the assessment later on. Practice went well, and there were only a couple of adjustments that we had to make. For Peel Me a Grape, we had to sort out the tempo, as it would start out at the right tempo but would speed up by the time we got to the end. After we went through it a couple of times, we got it sorted and it was ready for the assessment. Sir Duke was the song that went really well every time and didn't need any changes to it. Thriller was the song I was most worried for, as it's such a big song and it's really hard to sing, and I had to make sure that me and the band knew the structure inside out. We had the assessment at Club Ivo Bach, which was nice because it gave us the experience of setting up a real gig. We worked alongside some of the sound engineers who were also being assessed that day. Once everything was set up, we then had a quick sound check and then we were ready to go. The assessment overall went really well and I was happy with each of my performances and felt I worked really hard to get the grade I did. Peel Me a Grape kept the tempo all the way through, which I was happy with. For my performance of it, I wish I held back a little and sung a little softer. Sir Duke was my best performance, and Thriller went really well despite me being worried about that most. I made sure that I made the most of my breathing and made sure it was under control on all the high notes. Breathing also helped my voice not get so tired through the song and helped me maintain my energy. I was extremely happy with my mark I got, which was 70%, which is an equivalent of a first, and was also very happy with my feedback. This year, I have really worked on not being so stressed out every week and being more laid back and enjoying learning the songs and performing them with my classmates. The thing I would like to improve next year is to learn the lyrics before the lecture, so I will be able to give a better performance and not just be looking at the lyrics. I feel I still would like to improve on my breathing so I can sing songs even better and have more control. This year, some of the songs included scatting, which I found hard because I had never done it before. Scatting would be another thing I would love to improve on because I think it is good thing to do as a singer. I have really enjoyed discovering completely new songs that I have never heard before, as I can now add it to my catalogue of music.